Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and this is another very interesting video in which I'm going to discuss a use case which is related to credit card bills. So let's assume you are owning multiple credit cards and you are paying credit card bills on certain day. Let's say you have decided to pay all your bills on 5th of every month. So what we usually do is whenever date approaches, we used to go through all the credit card bills, identify the amount, then go and pay using bank website or any app which you are having. Now what we are going to do is we want to simplify this case. We don't want to spend so much time going through the bills and paying all these bills. So what we can do is we will be taking all the credit card bills, we will be clicking images, pictures for those credit card bills, and we will be passing it to GPT-4o, and GPT-4o will decide, using the functions in the tools, it will decide that which credit card bill belongs to which company. So let's say you have a credit card from Kohl's, then you will be paying that credit card bill only to the Kohl's. You cannot go ahead and pay that bill to some other bank. So let's see how we can execute this particular use case using Azure OpenAI GPT-4o. Now, before getting started, make sure that you have already created an instance of Azure OpenAI GPT-4o. In my case, I have already done it, and my instance is residing in East US. So before that, I will quickly show you two dummy statements which I have just grabbed it from the internet. So this is for SunTrust, and there are some figures and the descriptions you can see on the screen. Another statement I'm taking is very simple, because every credit card company can have their own format to create the statement. So this is another statement which is having bare minimum information. So we are going to take these two images and we will let the system identify which credit card belongs to which bank or the company and how much amount needs to be paid. Okay, so to simplify this particular use case, I have already written 2 lines of code. So what I'm doing here is I have pushed all these secrets or the key values in my config.env file. So you can change the step, you can read it the way you want, you can even hard code it directly if you are doing experiment, or you can read it from the environment variable as well. So for me, I'm just reading it from this env file. That's the reason I have imported .env values. So once this thing is done, we are good with our client. We can use this particular client to make a call to our chat completions and other things. Next thing what we are doing is, in order to pass the image to GPT-4, we need to make sure that we are converting and or encoding those images in a base 64. So these are the 2 lines of code which is doing that job for us. Next thing is I have defined 2 functions based on my possible bank statements. So in our case, in this particular case, I'm having just 2 banks. One is SunTrust and another one is your bank. So I have defined the function which is taking bank name as the parameter, and definitely you can pass in more details if you want, but the idea here is to explain you how you can segregate your bills based on the description. And this is the placeholder wherein you need to use the respective APIs to make a call. So let's say you are having a Visa card, so you will have your Visa development APIs which you can use it over here to make a call. So here I have just left this as a placeholder, and it can be filled based on your choice. And again, you can increase or add more parameters based on what your API is expecting. So these are just 2 functions which I have created. Next thing is I'm creating a JSON. So what this JSON is going to do is it is basically a tool, a collection of tools. So here tools are like the function, because we are utilizing that function calling feature. So what I'm defining here is I'm defining 2 different functions for 2 different banks. So make sure that you are giving the type as a function. Then you need to provide the name of the function. So this is my name. You can see I have defined it the same name over here. Then I'm just providing some description so that we'll get to know. Then the parameters what you are passing. So in our case, I'm just passing the bank name, but if you are having more, just provide it here using by separating them by comma. And then this is of course the required parameter, because this is how we will get to know which API to call. So this is just for one particular function. Similarly, you need to add the same thing for the another one, and if you have more, then you need to just club all those things under your tools. So now we have our tools ready. Next thing is we just need to create a single list which can tell us the mapping, like what is the function and what you are going to call going forward. So there could be a case that you don't want to call it pay to SunTrust. You may just want to say pay to SunTrust or make payment to SunTrust. So all these mappings you have to do it in these two lines. So I think I have already executed it. Okay, let's go ahead, and next thing is we need to make a call to Azure OpenAI. So the reason why I have created this function here is because we want to execute these few lines of code for every single image or every single credit card statement we are having. So what I'm doing here is I'm just using the client which we constructed in a very first step. I'm passing the model, I'm passing the messages, then I'm associating all the tools, and I'm saying choose the tools automatically based on the knowledge you are gaining from the image scans. So this is how it is constructing the response, and once we have the response, you can definitely go ahead and print it here for your validation, but I'm not going to do it. So what I'm doing here is from the messages, I'm just fetching the tools call. So whether our output is expecting some tools to be called or not. So this is done by using this line. So now we have, okay, we need to make a call to the tools, and then we will say what is the function name are you expecting, and the same thing we are passing it as we are passing here for constructing the arguments, and this is the line which is making a call to the function. So this is how we are constructing an object, we are making a call to completion API, and then we are utilizing our pre-written functions to make a call. Let's execute this cell as well. And now the final part of this. So what we are going to do here is we need to provide the directory where your images or the credit card statements are residing. In my case, you can see on the left hand side it is under the statements. So that's what I'm setting it over here. Then next thing is I'm calling the encode image function, which we have already seen earlier, and this is the core part again. So we need to define the messages so that we can set what is the role of the user or what is the input from the user and what is your system message. So system message is the instruction which we want to tell to our system that what kind of assistant or what kind of chatbot it is. So let's have a quick look at what I have written over here. So as a system content, I'm saying you are an assistant who can read and analyze credit card statements based on the bank name. You have to pay the credit card bill to the corresponding bank. You must always use tools. So this is the key line here. We don't want to take random action without going through our tools. So that's the reason we have to explicitly tell the system that please use tools. And coming on to the user content, the first thing we need to define is the image URL, the type of which we are passing it as a content. So we are passing this as an image URL. So this would be our type here. And the final thing is to make a call to Azure OpenAI. So let's execute the statement, and you can see that I have provided two images. This one from SunTrust and another one is from your bank. And this is how our functions are called here. Now let's do a experiment in which we will be providing some other image. So let's say this is my third image. And you can see it's just a random screenshot I have taken from one of my videos. It has nothing to do with the credit card statement or the billing information. So how will it go and take care of this thing? So let's execute this cell, and it will go ahead and read the statements folder or the directory which we have defined. And the directory is having 3 images now. But you will see that it has safely removed that particular image which is not relevant, and just process these 2 without throwing you any kind of error. And this is happening because of these few lines. So we are saying call function only if it is required. So in this third image, it is not required to call any function because it didn't find any relevant information. So it safely removed that call. So that's all I have for today. I hope you got an idea how we can take bulk images and segregate it and then process them as per the requirement. And all this is done using the function calling feature along with GPT-4o. So I hope you enjoyed watching this, and do let me know what are the other use cases you are looking forward for. Thanks for watching.